Hello and Happy New Year. Well, almost Happy New Year. Not quite Happy New Year, but happy holidays and getting ready for a Happy New Year. And right now I'm kind of in that in between, right? Like we're kind of coming in, cruising into the end of the year. We're getting ready to start the next year. And this is always an interesting time of the year for me. And over the past week or so, my team and I, we've been going through a lot of like, what have we noticed about 2017? What are we getting ready for in 2018? And there's a common theme that keeps coming up with comments that we get, questions that we get, and it's all around this topic of enrollment conversations. I actually sent out an email today, which should have landed in your inbox already. You should see it. It's the truth about the enrollment conversations and why enrollment conversations don't really work for most people. Like so many people that we talk to, they're like, Melinda, I hear so many no's. I don't get people to convert. I'm talking to a lot of people, or they'll say things like, I think I'm finding good leads or prospects, but I don't ever seem to get clients. And that's why I wanted to share in this email. In fact, I printed my own copy out. I even highlighted and took notes and stuff on it. I learned some stuff for myself. It's always interesting. But I put this together in an email with some of the key nuggets to make sure when you're having enrollment conversations that you want to be mindful of and include. And this is true whether you're maybe you're having those sample sessions or discovery consultations, you might call it enrollment conversation, whether it's just one-on-one and you're enrolling people into your coaching packages. Or it's also true, like when I stand on stage and I'm speaking to a room of 250 people and I'm enrolling them into a program, or if I'm on a webinar, enrolling them into a boot camp, or it's true for a teleclass or a home study. Whenever you're enrolling anybody into anything, and this is actually, now that I think about it, it's a life skill that can also work. I'm pretty sure this is true. It can work for spouses. It can work for kids. It can work for coworkers. It can work for a number of places, but I'm going to talk about it specific to enrolling our clients and talking to prospects, because that's what I want you to have a lot of success with in the year to come. If you're just getting started and you're like, Melinda, I'm not even enrolling anybody, that's fine. We want you to start enrolling and having successful enrollment conversations. Or maybe you've been doing this a while and you're like, Melinda, I convert about half the people I talk to. Well, that's good. I want you to be converting 60, 70, 80% of the people that you're talking to. Because when you can do that, now you're not having to work so hard for your business. Now your business is working for you, and it's effortless, it's graceful, it's intentional, and that's what I want. And that's what I included in this email with the things. And I just want to cover them quickly here, and then you can go find that email in your inbox if you want to. It might be in your junk or spam, or who knows, maybe you deleted it. But I wanted to cover that here because I think this is important, because what I know about you is you're great at what you do, or you would not be in this community. That's one thing. But if you don't think like a business owner, if you don't learn like a business owner and learn to be a business owner to create conversions and income and profit in your business, you're not going to be doing this very long. And that's the crappy part of this. And I do not want that for you. I want you to be successful. I want you to love this part of your business. And that's what I put in here, because when I learned these things, that took enrollment conversation from this, oh God, here I go. Okay, I can do this, to, oh my gosh, this is going to be so fun. I can't wait to have this conversation. And that's what it's like when I go into any enrollment conversation. So the first thing that I talk about in this email are the two things that you want to demonstrate. It's almost like it could be like a fine balance, but you want to demonstrate these two things simultaneously. It takes a lot of intention to do this, because our enthusiasm can get the best of us if we're not careful. And the two things that we want to demonstrate is we want to demonstrate our coaching so that they can experience the power of coaching, that's for sure. But at the same time, we also want to demonstrate that this is just the first step in a longer journey. Because a lot of times when somebody is in a sample session, you give of this amazing coaching experience and they're like, wow, I feel great. And they have this false sense of satisfaction. And what they don't know is that there is a much longer journey ahead of them for real transformation. So both of those things have to be demonstrated simultaneously, and there's an art to that. I just want you to be mindful of that, because so many people just go in demonstrating coaching. And then they wonder why nobody books with them, because you've done great coaching, you've satisfied their need, and off they go because they feel great. But we also have to demonstrate that there's a longer journey to transformation. Now, the other thing in the email that I want to share with you is what people are really buying. Now, we had this topic come up. There's an incredible thread here in the community from the last few weeks about, what are you really selling? What are people really buying? And do you know what people are buying? Like when you're in an enrollment conversation, what are people buying? If you just said your services, no. That might be why your enrollment conversations aren't converting as high as you want them to. People are not buying your programs. They're not investing in that. What people are saying yes to, what people are buying, results, transformation. And your job in this enrollment conversation is to convey that those results are possible, they're doable, and that that person in front of you can do it. And you're conveying the clarity in those results. Because when people are clear, that's when they're going to say yes. Okay? Which brings me to my next point. There's actually 3 things that you have to enroll people into. This right here was a game changer for me. When I heard this, I'll never forget where I was sitting. I was like, you have those epiphany moments. You're like, uh-huh. And it was like that kind of moment, right? And the 3 things that you're enrolling people into, again, this is true if you're having a one-on-one conversation to enroll them in your coaching package, whether it's an entry coaching package, a high-end coaching package, whether you're selling from stage, whether you're on a webinar, a teleclass, a lunch and learn, a networking group, wherever you are, there's 3 things that people that you're enrolling people into. Do you know what they are? Type below if you think you do. The first one, and this is the most important one. Whenever I ask people this question, I'm like, what are the 3 things that you're enrolling people into? And most people, right out of the bat, they're like, my program, or my package, or my service. And that is not accurate. That's another reason why enrollment conversations may not be going as well as you want them to be going, or why you're hearing way too many no's. Because the very first thing that you're enrolling your prospect into is themselves. They have to believe that they can do this. They have to be committed. They have to believe in letting go of the challenges and saying yes to the results, and be totally committed that yes, I can do this. They don't have to know how, but they just have to be committed and willing. And so that's the first thing that you're enrolling them into and getting them to say yes to is themselves. Now, what's the second thing? Again, it's still not your packages, your programs, your services, or anything like that. Once they believe in themselves, that they're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm committed. I'm ready for this transformation. The second thing that you have to enroll them into, and I'm not talking about manipulating or convincing, you're just holding space, you're guiding the conversation for them to get clarity in all of this. But the second thing is that they have to be enrolled into you, the coach, leading this conversation. So if I'm the coach and I'm having a conversation with the prospect, they have to see that I am capable and confident to guide them on this journey of transformation. If they don't believe that about me, they're never going to consider my packages, programs, services, or offerings. So the first thing is themselves. The second thing is the coach, me, the coach. They have to be committed. They have to be enrolled in me being the one being their guide. And then what's the third thing? Finally, the third thing is your packages and programs. Once they see the transformation and they're committed to that, once they believe you can lead them in that, then you enroll them into your programs and your services, your packages, whatever it is you're offering to that prospect in that moment. So those are the 3 things that in every enrollment conversation, one-on-one, to groups, virtually, in person, however you're doing it, you have to make sure that you're enrolling them into all 3 of those things. And when you do, that's a very different kind of conversation. I just want you to be mindful of that as you go into those conversations. And then the last thing that I shared with you in this email are the 5 core essentials of coaching that you want to bring to every enrollment conversation. Again, this is true one-on-one, to groups, virtual, in person, however you're doing your enrollment conversations. And this is where we, as coaches and healers and transformationalists, we have a little bit of edge over all these other industries out there, like accountants or attorneys or dentists or anybody else that's out there, because we possess these skills naturally. When you can bring the skills of listening, I'm going to refer to my notes just to make sure I don't miss anything, but listening, questioning, relating, holding space, and being curious. Those 5 things you want to bring as the coach that you are. You want to listen to what's being said and what's not being said. You want to question everything and do so in kind of a reflecting manner, not a telling manner, not a judging manner, but just a reflecting what you hear, what you think you hear, what you don't hear. You want to relate to them, be compassionate with them. You want to hold space for the bigger vision when they may not be able to hold it for themselves. And you want to be curious. Being curious is the best part of enrollment conversations, because you just get to get in there and be curious and hold space for them to get the clarity and decide if they want to be committed or not. And if they are, they're a yes. If they're not, send them on their way. Talk to the next person. And that's how enrollment conversations go. So I just wanted to share this with you because I know this is a big deal, a big topic, one that makes most coaches nervous, one that really leaves a lot of coaches super frustrated because it sucks to hear so many no's. And I don't want that for you. I want you to hear yeses. I want you to feel so lit up and turned on to talking to your next prospect, to getting them to becoming your next paying client, so that you can create that consistency in clients and revenue throughout the year. Now, you've heard me talk about our live event that we have coming up. This is such an important topic that of the 3 days, there's Janine. Hey, Janine. Of the 3 days, we're spending 2 whole sessions on mastering enrollment conversations. There's a lot more that I can share with you when we get together in person so that you can master them. You can feel confident about them. And we're doing this at the beginning of the year so that you've got the rest of the year to really increase the conversion rate that you have with your enrollment conversation so that you're converting a lot more prospects into paying clients. Because when you can do that, if you're converting 20 or 30 and you can ratchet it up to 40, 50, 60%, or if you're converting at 50, 60 and you can ratchet it up to 60, 70, 80%, now you don't have to work as hard to generate that revenue in your business. Right? And that's what I want for you. And that's what we're going to be talking about at Lifestyle Live. And you can claim your ticket. You'll see in the link below, coachesconsole.com/live. We do have 25% off of your enrollment ticket because I want you there. So I want it to be a no-brainer, and I want it to be an easy yes for you, because when we can get together in person, there's a lot more that I can share with you, a lot more that we can share over those 3 days together. Just think of what I've shared here in a matter of, what has this been, maybe 15 minutes? Imagine when we can spend 3 days together and how that's going to infuse your business to set you up to generate consistent revenue, consistent clients, helping your clients get great results from the work you do, and doing that on an ongoing basis. That's what I want for you. So claim your ticket below, coachesconsole.com/live. Oh, and by the way, we've also set up a special block of rooms at the hotel venue where I negotiated a discounted rate for you. But there's only so many rooms that we were able to hold, and it's first come, first serve. We're already over 65% of those rooms have been booked. So make sure you claim your ticket and you book your hotel, because you can save over $50 a day for the hotel room rate that we've negotiated for you. So I want to make sure that you get that too. So claim your ticket, book your hotel, and join me, because we're going to dive into even more about enrollment conversations at the live event, plus a lot more, so that you are set up with a business plan, with a marketing plan, with goals, specific actions you're implementing consistently throughout the year to make this the year beyond your wildest dreams. I'll see you there. Click that link below. Do not miss this.